My name is Lori Marie, and I am here with three really awesome people. I have Maddie Frequency, Anthony Paul, and Carissa C. We are all here to, talk a little bit about ourselves so you guys can get to know us and what Deep Thynkers Society is all about. And so that you feel welcome and invited to participate in some of our future conversations and episodes. We'd really like to create community through conversation. So I guess we could start with myself. I'm Lori Marie. I'm an astrologer, healer, and energy healer. I use Reiki as well as shifting and working with people's individual energy. I predominantly do astrology. It's my passion, numerology, and anything of the divine nature. I am an open channel, so therefore I do get lots of very clear messages. And my goal here with Deep Thinker Society is to literally plant seeds in the universe and help people somehow see things from different perspectives and know that we are limitless beings and that anything literally is possible. So thank you for all of you guys for being here and part of the Evolve 24 Productions. And on that note, Carissa C. Carissa, you want to share with us a little bit about yourself?
Hello. Yeah. Hello, everybody. My name is Carissa C. I am just a little bit about me. Thank you for having me. I'm so happy to be a part of such a talented group of individuals, first and foremost, just amongst some pretty awesome people. Like Lori said, creating community through conversation. In this day and age, a lot more people want to be seen. They want to be heard. And what better platform and what better podcast than the Deep Thinkers Society? It's a safe space. Everybody can join, share their thoughts, their ideas, get insight. And that's one of my biggest takeaways that I'm hoping for is just to expand ideas, listen, get other individuals' opinions, thoughts and ideas on the topics that we're going to have. So I'm so looking forward to having guests on the pod, listening to their stories, once again, just circling back to the day and age where people want to be seen, people want to be heard. And as individuals, as humans, we inherently want to be a part of a group, right? I hear people say, I'm looking for my tribe. They always want to belong. Do you remember like growing up in like high school, there was always like a need to belong to something, right? You had your jocks, you had your goths, you had your skaters, your surfers, kind of the same thing. We all want to belong. So I think this is the perfect space to invite everybody, to invite the people who are going to be on the pod, to be a part of the tribe, the Deep Thinker Society tribe, right? But just a little bit about me. Absolutely. Yeah. But just a little bit of background information on me. My spiritual journey started when I was very young. I used to tell my mom that I was an alien, that I'm not her daughter. And I stood firm in that. I believed it in my heart. I knew I was not from here. I think I was like, no. Yeah, I was not from here. Like I'm just a meat suit here on this spinning rock to have an experience, right? A human experience. And so, I've always questioned, I've always felt there was more out there. I was never the kind of person who I knew a lot of people, but my circle of friends was very small. And when I say small, it was like one other person. And then in my early 20s is when things started to shift. I wanted to know more. I started getting into angels, angel numbers. And then here, now I am at this stage in my life, 20 something years later. And, I've taken on some of the practices from my grandmother. Candle magic, divination. I read cards, but I read playing cards. Tarot is something new for me. And then, also, enrolling in the end of life doula program. So that is something that is going to be like additional. So, but yeah, so definitely looking forward to more of what's to come, and just excited for this whole experience, and just sharing and growing and learning.
Yeah, I look forward to doing that with you too. You're a great mind and a great friend. So this is going to be super exciting.
Yeah.
Very much so.
Anthony,
Yeah.
why don't you join in?
Yes.
Let us know a little bit about you.
Yeah, so, that's my mother down there, Carissa. So spirituality, came from witnessing, my mother's own journey as well. But, from a young age, I couldn't help but also know that there was more to just me being a cog in the machine or just another human, for sure. I knew there was something higher than me. I wasn't exactly religious by any means, but I definitely knew there was a higher power. I knew there was something working for us, with us. There was a force or an energy. That is really what I latched onto from a very young age. And I did have, several experiences as well that now in my adult years, I can look back and I've always been an extremely aware spiritual individual. But, prior to, it's always been down beneath. But the last 10, 15 years, I've been really trying to chase being an artist, a musician. So that's kind of where my background comes from. I worked in the recording industry, helping building studios, consulting for very, very, very high level, firms or entertainment companies, Sony, BMG, but also to somebody just starting off, somebody chasing a music dream in LA. You came to the place that I worked at, you were probably going to see me face to face. So not just somebody who knew a lot, but somebody who was just like you. So on a human level, I can connect with people a lot differently. My time in working in LA, I've seen every walk of life that you can imagine, and being in sales and being in retail like that at the same time, you get psychoanalytical, you view things, applying that to myself. So I'm like a big ball of consciousness. People loving, so deep thinking and, conversation is a very, very big thing, be it trying to figure somebody out or just trying to get to know somebody or trying to accomplish or achieve a goal. Conversation is very important at this time and day and age that we're in, creating a space for people that they can come and openly give, communicate, and not be judged is so important. And I definitely do think we're moving into more of a time like that.
You nailed it right there, though. You said something right there that really got me thinking. People, I was telling my daughter today, she's 12. People hide behind social media, their posts. They hide and they feel comfortable saying whatever they want to say, but it isn't always really what they want to say. It seems to be much more trendy, much more following, much more, hiding behind a mask. I think that our platform is going to be more of what you just said, but an all-inclusive, safe place that we can come together and talk about those things that people are scared to talk about in person, that they're scared to talk about for real on social media, and get rid of the masks.
Very, very much so. Yeah, that's the journey into the unknown, which a lot of people are just scared of the unknown. They're not even going to take a step into it because they just don't know it, and they're more familiar with being comfortable, and nothing great has ever came out of staying in comfort. You have to be pushed. You have to be tried. I've really, really realized that anytime I've launched exponentially in my life where I've gone severely forward, 10 steps had to be taken back, and that's a theme that's been in my life, and every time I've came out on the other side 100 times better. So that's helped me get through the journey, but a lot of people don't understand that. So apply that to XYZ topic. Nobody's going to want to venture into it or try to, it can be scary at times, but that's the reality.
Yeah. Matt today was like, "Hey, Lori," he's like, "Slow down. You're rushing it. You're catching me with my clothes off." He's like, "I'm naked," and I'm like, well, if you think
I
about
was.
it, like crystals,
It's like, don't just be
It's the reality.
crystals and like diamonds, they're made
Yeah.
from a very uncomfortable place. They're created through pressure. But
Yeah.
once they're formed, they're freaking
hmm
gorgeous. They're beautiful, right? So I guess really,
Exactly.
I
Very
learned
hot.
the universe spoke to me and basically said, learn to be comfortable,
Very.
uncomfortable, because uncomfortable is where all the good shit happens.
Absolutely. And
Mhm.
I've been
Yeah.
been able to, I've been fortunate to have some great mentors, people in very high positions, and just being in a room while they conversate or getting their perceptive, people would pay just to be a fly on the wall, and that sums it up. If you want to do great things, get used to being uncomfortable, embrace it, and the more that you start to realize
Yeah.
that failures are just the
Yep.
lessons, and you have one more way of not doing it right, you'll start running on that journey. Once I embraced
Yeah.
failure, once I embraced
Yeah.
not being at the top of the pedestal all the time, all the lessons came to me,
Exactly.
how I viewed everything, and the perception that I was given in that changed everything.
I mean, how else are you going to not know
Exactly.
what doesn't work until you figure out? Like, that's how you learn.
Absolutely. And that's the thing, people are scared to do that based off of what they'll be perceived as, but that's the thing, just you gotta rip off those shackles and just be free to be you, and run your journey. Know that you're going to go down, you're going to go up. Just part of it.
Yep. Just part of it.
On that note, Matthew,
Crazy journey.
why don't you shine like a diamond? Tell us a little bit about you.
Shine like a diamond. Oh God, no!
I was just thinking that.
Somebody said it.
Shine bright like a diamond. It's shine bright like a diamond.
Mr. Matty Frequency, we want to know about you.
Who am I? Who am I?
He wants to remain elusive.
It's an artist.
Be elusive.
That's how artists are.
I really do.
Yeah.
I want to be behind the scenes. I do not want to be on camera. I want to be behind and push the button.
You have a lot of character, though, at the same time. I think you would make a lot of people feel comfortable in coming out of their shell.
Thank you.
And
you think so?
Oh, absolutely.
You think so?
Absolutely.
Just be
where Lori is saying all these different walks of life. I think if you don't want to be on the camera all the time, you don't. But when you do, just come in and show who you are, and you're going to allow other people to feel comfortable being themselves. Matt doesn't always have to be on camera, but when he is, he's himself. So when somebody comes on here, they're going to feel that exact same energy.
Maddie, you have a great heart, brilliant. A beautiful mind, and you always have like things to add and take away. So like I love that you're part of this, and if you don't want to talk about you, I'll talk about you all day. So let me just say that Maddie is an artist. He loves to paint. He's like the friendliest guy. He's always laughing. And he creates music. Maddie and Anthony will be working on some awesomeness for the Deep Thynkers Society, and I'm super excited to see their collab. That really will be way awesome. Yeah, and Matt, this team won't be the same without you. So when you feel comfortable, you be on. You shine like diamond, and just be you.
There you go. I love it.
On that note, let's dig here. So I'm an astrologer. You guys know that, and I love numerology. My birthday is 8/6/72. I'm not a youngin'. I'm old. But I'm a 33/6, and that is a master number, and I live it to the epitome. I am absolutely a 6. For the first time in my life, I live in a 6 house. It's the happiest I've ever been. So living in my number is definitely, prior to that, I lived in a 9, and I learned so much spiritual growth in that time frame. But I'm interested in knowing, I'm a Leo. With the moon sign of Cancer, and my rising is Scorpio. And I know not everybody knows what that means, but for those of you that do, I literally live what life is. So my rising sign is Scorpio. So Scorpio is the phoenix that dies and comes back to life, regenerates. I'm Leo, ruled by the sun, and it's my sun sign, and I am a Cancer moon, which is also ruled by the moon. So I literally have those three symbols as my, like, what I am, and it reflects. When I was growing up learning about astrology, I was like, I don't feel like a Leo. I don't get it. I didn't understand that, and only now that I understand astrology, I'm literally a equal balance of like the masculine, the feminine, and then like the darker side of life, like the taboo. And I never felt like a Leo because I'm not just a Leo. I'm like all three. But I'd love to hear what your guys' perspective is on your birthdays and your numerology. What do you guys got going on out there?
I mean, yeah, I'm a Scorpio, born on November 3rd, 1993. So 11/3/93 on a Wednesday. So the third day of the week. So I'm not sure on all of that. My ex did it for me, but Lori, I'm gonna have to have Lori do it for me so I can get all of it. But for sure, I know I'm.
Yeah, send it to her. She's great about it.
Yeah,
She'll get it. Rising sign has a lot more to, and I think Lori would know about this. The rising sign has a lot to do with your personality than your sun sign.
It's your persona. It's your persona. Yeah. So like a lot of times people will guess somebody's sign based on what they've seen. And so like if I was to guess somebody's sign, I might guess their rising sign before I would guess their sun sign, because it's the face. It's the face you show the world.
It's what comes. Yeah, it's what you show forward. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I would say I definitely. I feel like a Scorpio, but I know I have some more layers to me for sure, in ways that I mesh with Cancers particularly. There's probably some. I know I have a lot of water. I have so much water around me, and I know I have a lot of water within me. So I can definitely.
I would say Pisces, Cancer.
Yeah, my ex is a Pisces.
Pisces, Cancer, rising sign.
Yeah, my grandmother's a Cancer. My mom's a Scorpio. So a lot of the foundational people around me are water as well. So that's why we've always kind of flown. Like the best way to describe it is like water. Like the flow and continuity and kind of just meshing together. So absolutely. Maybe I remember my mom again.
I like that.
Yeah, again, like my mom.
I think your rising sign is Pisces. Yeah.
It might be, and that's why I got along. Why my ex and I, almost 10 years in a relationship. We've been friends. She was in the room when I was born, so we've known each other forever.
And she was
Yeah.
You have a very grounded energy, though, for having that much water. So I'm looking forward to looking at your chart, because I feel like you have something in there that keeps your feet on the ground, and I want to know what it is.
Yeah.
Because I need some of that. I need my feet on the ground.
I feel like I've had to take that on, though, for sure. I feel like can't pinpoint it exactly, but consciously over the last 4 to 5 years.
And maybe I made all these like 25 years ago.
Wow.
Another amber one with obsidian on top.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It's like orgone, almost like orgone.
Yeah. It's like orgone. It is orgone. Yeah. I got this is my favorite one, moldavite. Dude, this one's fucking awesome. That's probably worth
moldavite, man. Yeah.
It's probably worth like a fucking $100, dude. That fucking thing, dude.
Yeah.
This thing right here,
I could probably sell
this for $1,000. Well, that was not the one actually.
They talk about when you invite moldavite into your life, be ready for what comes ahead.
I know, because shit happens, dude. You gotta be careful with it, dude. And then I made this.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's copper, right?
Yeah, copper wrapping around. And it's got a quartz.
Is it a smoky quartz?
Wow.
Whoa. Quartz in the middle. Yeah. So I mean,
nice.
I just had a vision. I had a vision, and I was like, I want to make something.
Wow.
I didn't even know about Thanos. I never knew about Thanos until like 20 years later. But
you've been doing this whole time.
I had a vision to do this, to have this.
Wow.
I had a vision 25 years ago. I made this 25 years ago, and it just sits in a box. I just got it out. Like I got it out. And like
You need to get on Etsy and sell that shit.
Yeah, but that's your
no,
Intuit, man. That's your
no, this is not for sale. This is like priceless to me. This is priceless,
Yeah.
dude.
Well, yeah,
I'm
but
just
you
missing
can
a thumb.
recreate it, right?
I thought it had a thumb
You
too.
can't keep all that
What?
awesomeness to yourself. You gotta share that awesomeness. You gotta recreate it. Like maybe I want a pair. Maybe I
Nah,
don't
this is
some.
priceless. I mean, maybe. Give me a price, $1 million. Okay, maybe.
No,
But no,
you can
this is
create it.
priceless. This is
Make
in my
more.
private jewel box. Yeah, let me show you something. I have a God. See, this is in my. This has been holding my box with this. You know what this is? This is
Amethyst?
Selenite?
I see purple. I see
it's
purple.
a crystal. It's a quartz. It's a quartz. It's
Oh,
wrapped.
okay, yeah. I see the quartz
It's a
now.
quartz. The other half of this quartz is in my mother's grave.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
My
that's
my
awesome.
this is a story that we have to talk to you about. But like my love of my life was there with me. My best friend. And I said, well, I actually texted my brother's girlfriend at the time. I said, go to Blue Crystal, pick out a double coordinated quartz crystal. And then when I got to the funeral, I told my best friend, go break this. And she broke it. She took her foot she had boots on. She took it on the sidewalk and broke it in half. My mom has the other half of this in her grave, in her hand.
Oh,
That's so sweet.
And
That's really
cool.
awesome.
and it's like it lights up. It's a lights up red. It's got batteries in it.
Wow.
It's a
Well, that's
it's
cool.
it's a red
Illuminating
beam.
crystal.
Yeah.
So Matt, you're a Taurus. Look at you in love with crystals.
I'm a Taurus.
That's a very earthy thing for Taurus to be as mesmerized and in love with crystals.
Yeah, my
And
rising
what's your
sign's
number?
Aries. Yeah, my rising sign's Aries,
Yep.
and my moon is Aquarius. So Aquarius moon is
Oh,
what
yeah.
I was talking about. I want to know what Aquarius, because Aquarius, where Pluto's going into Aquarius, and that's my moon. So that's intense,
Uh-huh.
right?
Oh yeah.
Over
So
the next 20 years.
you're gonna have a very transformative 20 years. Like the next 20
Oh
years.
yeah.
It,
I'm tired of this
yeah,
shit.
you're gonna change a lot. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta be careful you don't get lost in space. Aquarians have their heads forward thinking, so you're gonna be right there. You're gonna be a revolutionary, but it's gonna be coming from your emotions. You're gonna be passionate. You're gonna stick with what you believe.
Explode. I know.
Yeah.
Feels
Oh,
like
you know.
that sometimes, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yes.
Krista, your rising sign is Aquarius, right? Is it your
my
rising?
my rising is Aquarius.
Yeah, see? So
Ah,
you
you
have
got something going on there
through your
too
first
now.
Show
Oh
me.
gosh,
Pluto is Aquarius.
so I'm on the cusp. So that's a good segue to me. I'm on the cusp. I'm on the cusp of Libra and Scorpio, so I feel like I've got a little bit of each.
One foot in one,
and
foot in the other.
I do, yeah. With a Gemini moon and Aquarius rising.
Yeah, so you and Matt have
Gemini moon?
that.
Gemini moon.
Okay.
That's the chatting. That's the good conversation right there.
Saturday.
Yeah.
Definitely.
With my,
Yeah.
But the two
Mental
sides,
chatter.
the two sides.
with my
Mental
Yeah,
Virgo and Venus.
You think a lot.
Yeah, she does.
Right?
She's got
God.
Virgo in there too, so yes. And
Yeah.
with the Aquarius
Yeah.
rising, you guys are in your heads, but with her Gemini moon though, like she also verbalizes it. Well, the interesting thing about Geminis though, a lot of people don't know this. The reason people call them two-faced is not because they're two-faced. It's because they like to be behind the scenes, but they also like to talk. And so it's kind of hard to talk from behind the scenes and have people hear what you want to say. So,
Introverted extrovert.
yeah, they
I
are. They
struggle
really
with.
are. And so, but for me, like Geminis are my people. They're in my eighth house, and I have transformative relationships with them. One of my closest friends in the world, she's a Gemini through and through. She has Aries rising, just like Matt, but she's the only human in this life where I've dream about. Like, there are friends that I have pop in my dreams here and there, but my entire life of knowing her since she was like 14 and I was like 17, she'll pop in my dreams in any stage of my life. And she's like that. It's weird. I'll dream, but most of the time I dream about people I don't know, but she is always like, and she's Gemini, and, one foot in, one foot out, like Geminis, they're unique is the word. Geminis are unique, and the thing is they could sell you their shirt off their back. Like, they can talk about any topic. And so your moon in Gemini, we just gotta watch you. No, I'm just kidding.
My grandmother, my grandmother who raised me, she was a Gemini. She was the one who taught me the candle work and the divination. But funny enough, my dad, so my grandfather, my dad's dad, was a Gemini. My dad, a Gemini, who had my sister Lene, who was a Gemini. My sister Lene had a son who was a Gemini.
Oh my gosh.
Like, crazy, right? Like, that's 1, 2, 4 generations of Geminis in a row.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Insane.
For me, it's Scorpio.
That is a lot.
I have Scorpios in my life like you have Geminis in yours, because they're just always there. I mean, look, there's 2 of them in the room right now.
Tauruses.
Yeah.
Tauruses.
I have a lot of Cancer and a lot of Pisces.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you got a Cancer moon right here, so.
Yep.
Cancers are they're tricky. So, and tricky in the sense that, like,
when that water is watering, it is
moody.
some of the strongest water that you can feel. But when that water is tumultuous, that water is tumultuous.
Yes,
it's the best way to describe it in my.
Yeah.
That's my mom. My mom's a Cancer.
Through and through, very, very much so.
My daughter is a Scorpio rising like me, and she is a Cancer moon like me. And the only thing that I like about that, and she's an Aquarius sun, so there's the Aquarius. But she, with her rising sign the same as mine, and her moon sign the same as mine, when we go through cycles. So my favorite thing about astrology is that you can read things through the patterns and through the cycles, and the more you know things about people and their signs and how they work, you see the patterns. Well, if the planets are going through my chart in a certain kind of way, they're going through her chart the exact same way. So we go through the same types of scenarios at the same time. So when she's, thinking about her health more, which is, odd for a 12-year-old, but she really does. I'm usually thinking the same kind of thing. And it's because where the planets are going through. So right now, Carissa, you have Aquarius rising, and we got Pluto going through that. So, you are going to be the face that you show the world, and then is going to change dramatically over the next 20. Who you are to the world is going to change. And even physically, the first house is also your physical body. So you may look completely different. And you might like do a full on glow up and just completely change. Because
I think so.
Aquarians are unique. So who knows? Maybe in the next few years, you'll have different color hair. Maybe you'll be a blonde.
I feel like
dogs.
Are those your puppies, Carissa? I can't hear you. You're on mute. Oh, sorry.
I was on mute. Yeah, I was just muting. So both my doggies, I got 2 80-pound pit bulls. They're rescues. Let's see if you can. Daisy May.
Aww.
Oh,
Daisy
still
May.
on.
Daisy May. They're rescue. They're wonderful dogs. They're amazing, both of them. I really lucked out in the rescue genre. They're well behaved. They're socialized. They're sweet. They love people. They love babies. You know, they're very good dogs. But my buddy YY over there is the protector of the house. You know, if a leaf rustles in the front yard, he's got to bark and let it know he means business. You know, I live across the street from a park, and people walk all day long. So he's
That's
just,
the
hey,
worst.
I'm here.
Too. So there's always dogs in your
Yeah.
neighborhood.
So
That's
many.
actually our favorite dog
but-
park.
I know. We'll have to get Cosmo. Did I have Wyatt? I had Wyatt when you got Cosmo. They did get to meet. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we had him over your
they
house.
did. Cosmo.
He was a puppy.
Yeah. He was still a puppy. I came across those pictures recently, and I was going to send them to you.
Oh,
But
yeah,
he was just
share
a little
them.
bitty
I
guy.
wanna see.
He was a little
Naomi
bitty
fell in love
guy.
with your dog. Naomi really loved your dog.
Oh, why she loved Wyatt?
Yeah.
Aw. We'll have to bring her over so she could see them.
Yeah. She's obsessed. Well, next time we
Or
go to
meet up at the.
California-
Maybe we can meet up at the dog park in Gilbert that has the lake.
Oh, yeah, Cosmo.
That would be cool.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that for sure.
Yeah.
Is it just me, or can we not see Anthony?
You can't see me.
I don't know. Yeah.
I used to work in
can't-
Gilbert. I used to work in Gilbert.
Ah.
Yeah, he
Oh,
came
very
out
cool.
there for a minute.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Can you see me?
Yeah, for a minute.
It's all squares.
You gonna
It's
come
all
back?
squares.
You miss the desert?
I want to come back, but no, I don't miss the heat. Stupid.
Oh,
I mean, I was there in October to March, and that's the coolest point. And it was still hot.
it-
No, I mean, maybe a vacation there in the winter. I don't know.
A snowbird. You want to be a snowbird? Look at Daisy. She's looking at something.
I can't. Oh, I only see a little part of you right now. I can't see your background.
I see her. Yeah.
She was just, what were
Hey,
you looking at? What was there? Well, was something there?
Is it?
They are so intuitive.
Bulldog.
These two. So
Oh.
intuitive, these two.
My dog is a time-oriented dog. He's got time down. Same with my cat. I have to tell you guys a funny story. You said so intuitive and dogs, and whenever I think of dogs, I always think of my kid because she's obsessed with dogs. But in this song, this doesn't have anything
Well, I
to do
think
with
of
dogs.
dog.
This
I
is
think
really
about
funny.
kid. Okay.
We were in the car today. This is the trippiest fucking thing. We were in the car today, and she starts singing she's like, Mom, that voice sounds like the girl from Baby Got Back. You know, she's all, you know that part. And she starts singing the intro to, you know, you guys know Sir Mix-a-Lot, Baby Got Back, right?
Mm-hmm.
My anaconda. Okay.
Oh,
So
yeah.
Well enough.
she starts singing it, and we were laughing, and she goes, let me see if it's on the radio. And she reaches down and she turns it, and it was freaking on the radio. The song just started. And we're like,
There you
no
are.
way. She looked at me and she was like
Awesome.
floored. She just couldn't talk. Her jaw just dropped. And I'm like,
Right.
that's what it means to be in tune, babe. That's synchronicity right
I know.
there.
Yeah. And I'm always amazed every single time it happens. I'm still amazed. Like, at what point am I going to get used to the synchronicities, right? Like, I'm just always just amazed. I don't know if that's ever going to go away. And it's not a matter of like, I'm not comfortable. I'm 100% comfortable. I'm just always amazed at the universe and source, always like lining it up. And I'm just like, oh my God, you know, it's like a little hug from the universe.
It's like
a
confirmation. It's like, that's my
So
favorite.
absolutely.
Confirmation, like when you think something and then you might even think you're crazy, like, oh, am I like, no, that's not right. Like your first impression is, yeah. But then when the universe confirms it, and you're like, oh, I wasn't crazy. That's so cool. Like it's awesome. Confirmation's awesome.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think it's set to what extent are you watching but they're always there.
Yeah, it's how open you are to receiving, because like it's always, we were actually, Kristen and I were meeting last week, and we were talking about how the universe works and with signs and stuff, and I was telling her, basically, if you're open and you're mindful, that if you're not just stuck in your story in your mind over and over, your monkey brain, like you can find symbols and answers to anything all the time, anywhere, literally. And it's amazing what you just said it. It's like they're always there.
Yeah, it never stops.
So like we could ask something right now. Yeah, we could, like, as a collective, ask something, and then the universe will, if we're open to paying attention, which again, we can't do it with our monkey mind. We have to like be aware. The universe will find a way. And we could ask one question, all four of us, the same question, and the universe will trigger us in our own unique way to give us that confirmation. Like Carissa might see another pattern, and Matt might have like a dream, and you might like coincidentally run into somebody and they're talking about what you were just thinking. You know what I mean? Like the universe is so mysterious, and the more we try to figure it out, the more wrong we are.
Yeah.
But that's goes back to what you were saying, Anthony, about making mistakes and like living through it.
Yeah.
Learning through it.
That's just as important as, paying attention to the signs. When you do go through the experience, how do you wear it? How do you take it on? Do you let it make you, or do you let it just cut a part of you and shape you and form you?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Make you or break you.
Yeah.
I mean, it's okay to break, though.
Absolutely.
Actually, it's okay. I try to, like, emotions are just an awareness. It's just your body's physical way of alerting you to danger or survival. And, we hold everything in our body. So, if we listen to our body, we listen to our emotions, we could, we'll learn so much. I'm very interested in somatic healing. I want to learn more about how things are trapped in the body. Looked at, I think, by some people as very woo-woo, but yoga really is about releasing trapped energy. Because when we stretch our body and we, move in ways that we don't normally move, and we take the time to breathe through it, we can release anything that's stored in those spots on our bodies. And, and for women, it's very common to store that in our hips. It's like, and women, with the way sexuality is looked at, the hips are very sexual. And so they'll hold sexual trauma in their hips, and then therefore maybe they don't like to dance, or maybe they need to dance and shake their hips, and like get that energy out, or do yoga.
Sacral.
Definitely. Yeah. And movement. And again, it goes back to being grounded, and being able to channel that energy out of your body and into the earth, so it could be like cycled through and back to source. Yeah. It's like
Because
like
experience. It's completing a cycle. It's completing a cycle. Like, 'cause I feel it coming through here, and doing this. It's like, oh, that feels better. And I'm like, oh, what am I doing? What the fucking yogis did, I'm not gonna talk about it right now.
I
Later.
Myself doing this a lot, like when I channel, like just naturally. It never was a thought. Like I would just put my hands like that and do it, or sometimes I'll do that, or sometimes I'll do that. But symbols are such a, how you were saying, Carissa, about how you you told your mom when you were little you were an alien. And I feel like maybe because you probably experienced like the awareness of your consciousness close in another lifetime where you just weren't that here. You know what I mean? Like you were parallel to that, and you were attached to that. Well, there was a time period, and when I see, like alien, like, and I think symbolism, I feel like we channel things even in our art, unconsciously. And there was a period in my life very early on. It was after I learned Reiki, and I was in that class that I spoke to Matt and Chris about early on, where we would meet, and I learned about metaphysics, and I learned about how to be an open medium, a channel. And we were listening to these tapes that was bringing our energy level up, so we were becoming higher frequency. And I had my friends over one day, and we lived in a 2-story townhouse. And so we were the second level of my room, and prior to them coming, I had chalk, and I just started writing symbols on my wall. I have no idea to this day what they meant.
What?
But I had all these like really awesome
Interesting.
symbols that I had written on my wall. And when they came over, we had lit some white candles, and we sat down and we turned on the high vibrational music, and we started meditating through a guided meditation. One of them was talking us through it. And in the middle of it, with no exaggeration, my room started shaking, and everything was shaking. And I looked at them, and they looked at me, and I'm like, do you guys feel that? And it didn't stop. Everything continued to shake. And I ran downstairs to my friends. I'm like, are we having an earthquake? Because I lived in California. And the whole upstairs was shaking, and nobody knew what we were talking about, And I went back up there, and that was the first time it happened, but it continued to happen after, other times, because I did a lot of energy work in there, and I was like, it's me. Well, it's not me. It's like the room. It's like the energy that was created in the room. And I'm a firm believer that those symbols, what was channeling light, matched with the frequency of our energy together. So like people don't realize it. So Matt, when you were talking about your art earlier and you were showing us, what do you think that means? What do you think that numbers mean? I think in general, like the picture with all the different symbolism and the planets, whatnot, I feel like you channeled something into that piece of art, that was very symbolic. And if each of us look at it, we'll get a different type of message. Like when you look at tarot cards, and you look at the symbolism, but in a way, it's kind of like a coded, energetic, like message for everybody in their own unique way. And so you could get downloads just from looking at a tarot card. Like you could trigger seeds that are planted in your brain that you have aligned with other levels of consciousness where you're aware of what that actually meant. So it's like artists, that identify with that creative side of their brain, they're open channels. And when you read a book, who's to say that book isn't actually lived out on another level somewhere else? Who's to say that Star Wars isn't an actual galaxy in another parallel universe? You know what I'm saying? Because like if we identify so closely some of these movies and songs, even how is it that we got so attached to certain songs? It's because it was channeled through, and we're familiar with it, on some level. And yeah, I could just go on and on.
Yeah, music's all the vibration for sure. Yeah. Music is a vibration. At the end of the day, it really is a frequency. It's something you can feel without seeing. It's something you can hear without seeing. So, it exists in a plane that, isn't just here. It is energy, and it's one of the most important forms of energy for sure. And you can see what it does to water.
Music. I wish all music was set at the 432 hertz.
432. Yeah. I don't know why it was changed to 440. It's not very smart. But I listen to a lot of binaural beats and a lot of frequencies tuned at 432, and it's an ever so slight shift, but I understand, there's a lot more talked about it, but I'll leave it at that. But yeah, the changing of that root tone, what is 432 adds up to 9, it's very, very specific number, you know.
It would be awesome if that was one of the things that shifted in this Pluto Aquarius, you know, with the technologies that, you know, eventually like sound is tuned to, you know, and sound healing becomes an actual like thing where we could go to a sound healer, and, you know, at our doctor office, you know, as opposed to just because traditional
Well,
medicine.
it's starting to. Some people are getting aware of it. There are you know, they're like photon generators, and they generate a tone, and it has light behind it, and you can tune the bass frequency at 432. So whatever frequency you
What?
send out of this photon generator, you're essentially in a room that's encompassing that frequency. You can't always hear it, but you know, metaphysically, it's
Like a
attaching to your
chamber?
energy.
Like a frequency chamber?
No, it's like a projector. So you put it in a room and it emits frequency. Yeah, they're like $10,000, $11,000.
Can we set
But
Sounds like a
they
audio?
emit
frequency
a
chamber.
frequency.
Yeah, frequency chamber
Yeah,
in a room. Yeah,
so
Can we set the
yeah,
audio
you
essentially.
turn the room into that.
Yeah, I
for the
haven't heard of
What's
that.
podcast?
that?
So for the podcast, can we set our audio to 432? Is that something we could
You
do?
could get music that's at 432. If you want the intro music, you would just have to find specific music that you like that's at 432. Yeah, because majority stuff's at 440, but you could also make
Yeah,
music at 432.
it's true.
Ooh,
Yeah,
that would be sweet.
There's a few ways.
that'd be
Maybe
sweet.
you
Yeah,
guys
So
can
the
work on that.
yeah,
That
yeah,
would be awesome to
yeah.
have
definitely.
our
Just go
show
for
at
a vibe of what type of vibe you want, and you could almost just make it solfeggio frequencies for the intro. If you want to do like a 20-second intro, a solfeggio frequency would probably be easy too, you know, and it's just a tone. It's
Yeah.
drawn out. It's like a drone. It just sits, you know.
That's
So it's a
cool.
perfect. You could fade into it and fade out to it, you know, and it's not a bunch of drums going on, a bunch of crazy stuff. It's literally just a frequency.
I give that creativeness to both of you. I'm excited to see what
You could try it a
YouTube
couple
will
ways.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Cool.
What do you
that'd be
think,
cool.
Carissa?
Should be right. Strive. Yeah,
Well, we've had quite an evening,
adjustment
and I've
and
totally enjoyed chatting with you guys. On that
yes,
note,
likewise.
you know, let's keep the conversation going. Let's invite some awesome humans to join us with their stories and their, you know, uniqueness to share with the world, and we'll be back again next week, and hopefully we will be back with our first podcast episode to share with everybody. Thank you again, and I'll see you guys next week.